Alright guys, welcome back to another daily coding videos from Dosen Ngoding, and today I would like to share to you a simple way to learn Filament PHP from the documentation, because as like another Laravel products, the documentation is so good, but we are overwhelmed by so many things. But if we make it simple, it's actually very easy to learn Filament. Okay, let's see. In the Filament documentation, this is their landing page, and this is their documentation. It's all here. So everything about Filament is, I think, in my opinion, already available here. But for us, or someone who new to Filament, is kind of a little bit overwhelmed because they do not know what is resource, what is from field, what is panel, and what is Infolist. But today I will simplify this for you, so you will learn practically what kind of documentation and what kind of the filament components that it creates. All right, let's start from our simple filament projects. See, this is the project that I use for these videos, and this is the UI that the filament that filament give us. So let's see. We have this documentation and we have this filament empty page, right? Okay, I also create a Figma here. So what we need to know that we have this documentation and we have these things, right? So I create a screenshot of these things. So when you go logging into a Filament app, you will get these things, right? These things. This thing is called panel. So whenever you guys want to do something about this big thing, then you should go to the documentation panel configuration. So let's see what happened in the panel configuration, right? See, by default, the configuration files located at admin panel provider. So when we creating a panel, it's creating the admin panel. So it will be go to the /admin. All the resource, custom page, and dashboard widget you can create registered into this panel. So you can create multiple panels. By default, the panel is administrator, admin. So you can go check here the documentation about how to set up this panel. And then Filament is all about resource. So the most important documentation that you should learn is the resource documentation. What is the resource documentation? This one. When you make a resource. So when I make a resource in the previous videos, we have these things, right? We have these things. We have these things. So this is called a resource. This is reflect to a models, and this is a resource in Filament. So when you create a resource, you will get these things. So many files. But what are these files will be? So you will get these things. You will get a table, you will get a forms to edit, you will get a forms to create, and you will also get a Infolist if you created it. By default, it's only three. The table, the edit form, the create forms. And you can add this Infolist. This is like a static view of the resource. So when you want to modify these things, you will have to go to this documentation, the resource documentation. But the resource documentation is the resource is the very big things, and then the Filament split them. They split the resource into so many things. Okay, let's see. When you need to modify the table, so you will go to this one, the table columns documentation, because the table will consist of column and consist of data type that it can be shown. For example, we can show strings, number, whatever, text, icon, image, color, and so many other things. So when you need to modify anything inside this table, you go to the table column documentation. So many things here in the documentation. We can have a text column, icon column, image column, color column. So when you need to show the user profiles, and you go the user profile photos for each one of them, then you go to the, we're going to use the image column, but you go to check about the documentation in this one, in the table column documentation. If you want to make this column editable, then you can go here, text input column. So that's a very simple tricks. When you confused about what is and need to modify what in these tables, then you go to this table column documentation. Also, similar things happen when you want to modify the name forms, modify the forms, both edit and create forms. You will have to go to the form fields documentation, because, for example, if you want to add a drop down, you want to add a select, when you want to add something like this, yeah, this one, color picker, checkbox, what is this, button, and a password input field, and normal input field, toggle button, then you will have to go to this documentation. So in this documentation, the form fields one, it will be listed any components that Filaments provide for you. So you do not have to create the HTML for this form and create form and edit form. Just use this one. All right, then let's continue. Also this one, you have this one, Infolist. Infolist is a static view of a resource. It can be simple like this. It can be more complex like this. This is many people asking me about this. Can we make a complex view of a Infolist? Can we make a complex view of a form? Everything is possible because it's already provided in the component of the filament. But you need to learn what is the available entries, what is the available Infolist entries for to display read-only information that provided by Filament. You can use it and you can make something like this. So it's completely custom view compared to this one. Yeah, so it's possible. And then when you arranging the form, creating the form, when you want to make it like 2 columns, 3 columns, like you want to make it group like this, you want to make a table like this, you want to make a tab view, you will have to go to schema layouts. So when you want to modify the layout of the forms, of the edit forms, the create forms, the info list, you will have to learn from this schema layout. It provides grid, it provides flags, it provides section, tabs, and even wizard. So almost all of the things that you need to layouting something in Filament, it will be available here. So then so many other documentation, small one, like notification. When you want to save something and then send a notification, or you want to do something that a long-running task, you will have to set up as a queue, and when it's available, it will throw a notification to the Livewire system. It will be available here. You can use this documentation, the notification documentation. Okay, it can be simple like this. Just notice something saved, something edited, something deleted, or something what happened in your system. It can be set up by this notification. Also, there is also something else, a widget. These things here, it's called a widget. Even though this is in a panel, but when you want to modify this one, you will have to go to the widget documentation. Remember, when you read the panel's documentation, it said that every widget is registered to each panel. So you will have to create a widget and register to which panel that you want to show. This is what you do. This is what you need to learn. When you want to create a widget, you can use existing widget from the Filament and then put it into your desired panel. That's it. That's how simple actually it is. But if you new to the Filament, there is so many terms that new to you, even though for me that I familiar with Laravel. But when we already know what is the terms and what is used for, then this documentation is very good actually. And if you are so lazy, you can just wait for me to create another videos explaining about this documentation. But that's it for today. See you guys in another daily coding videos. See you guys next videos. Please subscribe and like and share and comment on everything you need. Everything that you need to ask, you can post in the YouTube comment. See you guys in other videos.